Meet Mr. Alvarius, an audiobook written by Garnier. Chapter 1. Exploring the essence of Bufo Alvarius secretion and the fascinating world of Mr. Alvarius 1. Introduction. In the timeless expanse of human existence, we have been mesmerized by the eternal enigmas that define our being. Who am I? Where do I come from? Why am I here? What am I? Who made me? And what lies beyond the threshold of death? These questions have echoed through the corridors of civilization, driving us to seek answers with unwavering determination. Throughout the ages, our search for truth has been accompanied by a symphony of mythologies, doctrines, and spiritual teachings, offering glimpses of understanding and interpretations of the divine. From ancient tales of gods with human traits to the contemplation of extraterrestrial beings, our imagination has soared across the cosmos, fueled by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Yet, within the depths of our souls, we feel an unfillable void, a yearning to comprehend the profound mysteries that elude us. Some find refuge in the solace of faith, while others seek respite in escapist distractions. And then, there are the courageous few, relentless in their pursuit of enlightenment, forever driven by an insatiable hunger for truth. Now, poised at the precipice of a new era in our evolution, a revelation awaits, an enigmatic secret that promises to unravel the fabric of existence itself. Enter Mr. Alvarius, a remarkable embodiment of this revelation who transcends the boundaries of ordinary existence. He is not merely a creature of the Sonoran Desert, but a vessel of profound wisdom, bearing an extraordinary gift upon his back. Within the sacred realms of this extraordinary being lies a substance of unparalleled power, 5-MeO-DMT. It is a key that unlocks the doors of perception, transporting us to extraordinary realms of consciousness and expanding the horizons of our minds and spirits. Now, embark upon this odyssey alongside Mr. Alvarius, a guide through the labyrinth of consciousness. With each step, we shall plunge into the depths of our innermost selves, unraveling the intricate layers of our existence and venturing into the realms that lie beyond. Prepare yourself for a transcendent journey, where knowledge intertwines with ecstasy, and the quest for understanding becomes an elixir of pure bliss. Allow the enchantment of Mr. Alvarius and the transformative power of 5-MeO-DMT to illuminate your path, leading you to revelations that transcend the confines of the known. Welcome to a world where the veils of perception are lifted and the profound mysteries of our existence unfold before our eyes. Embrace this extraordinary adventure as the enigmatic dance of Mr. Alvarius and the mystical embrace of 5-MeO-DMT transport you to new realms of enlightenment and understanding. May your journey be illuminated by the sacred fire of discovery, and may the union of your spirit with the infinite weave a tapestry of profound wisdom and boundless joy. Welcome, Seeker, to the transformative realms that await your embrace. 2. The purpose of this book. The purpose of this book is to provide readers with a comprehensive understanding of 5-MeO-DMT, enabling them to make informed decisions about its usage. It delves into the potential benefits and risks associated with this substance as a tool for expanding consciousness. While the book primarily targets individuals on a quest for self-discovery and a deeper understanding of the universe, its relevance extends beyond this audience. The allure of exploring altered states, seeking meaning, and delving into the mysteries of consciousness transcends cultural and personal boundaries. Thus, it serves as a valuable resource for a diverse range of individuals intrigued by the transformative power of psychedelics. Through thorough research and balanced exploration, this book aims to instill a sense of responsibility and mindfulness in approaching the use of 5-MeO-DMT. It empowers readers to make informed choices aligned with their values and aspirations while promoting a safe and responsible approach to self-exploration. Ultimately, this book acts as a guide for those embarking on a journey of expanded consciousness, offering a roadmap that navigates the potentials and challenges of working with 5-MeO-DMT. Its aim is to provide readers with the knowledge and insights necessary to embark on this transformative path with clarity and intention. 3. Author Introduction. Who writes this book? Dear reader, as you venture further into the captivating world of this book, I, Mario Garnier, stand before you as its author, a humble explorer and storyteller. My journey with the wondrous 5-MeO-DMT molecule began many years ago when I first encountered its mystical allure. At that time, there was a glaring void of information surrounding this extraordinary substance, leaving me with a burning curiosity and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Determined to unravel its secrets, I embarked on a personal odyssey of research and personal experiences. This awe-inspiring journey led me to extraordinary countries and places, unveiling the beauty of our world in ways I could never have imagined. I met incredible people along the way, kindred spirits who shared a deep reverence for the mysteries of the mind and the expanses of consciousness. Together, we traversed the realms of perception, delving into the uncharted territories of the human experience. It was during this voyage that I came face to face with both the darkness and the light within myself. The profound encounter with 5-MeO-DMT guided me to explore the depths of my own being, embracing the shadowy corners as well as the radiant expanses of my soul. Through this integration, I discovered a more profound understanding of myself, embracing the wholeness that comes from acknowledging all aspects of my being. As my journey unfolded, I found myself called to serve the community that had embraced me with open arms. I founded the esteemed World Bufo Alvarius Congress, a gathering that brought together like-minded souls to share knowledge, experiences, and insights surrounding the profound effects of this sacred substance. The Congress became a beacon of collaboration and learning, fostering a supportive community where individuals could come together to explore the depths of consciousness. In my commitment to shedding light on the mysteries surrounding 5-MeO-DMT, I embarked on a creative endeavor, a documentary titled Looking for Bufo Alvarius. This cinematic journey immersed viewers in the remarkable world of the substance, unearthing the stories, struggles, and triumphs of those who had embarked on their own transformative encounters. Through this documentary, I sought to inspire curiosity, ignite conversations, and bridge gaps in understanding, offering a glimpse into the profound impact of 5-MeO-DMT. Through these roles and responsibilities, I humbly offered my dedication and service to the community. It has been an honor to contribute to the collective understanding, to foster a sense of unity and exploration, and to create spaces where knowledge and experiences could be shared freely and openly. As you immerse yourself in the pages of this book, dear reader, I hope that you will find inspiration, guidance, and a deeper understanding of the multifaceted nature of this transformative journey. May it serve as a compass, leading you towards self-discovery, integration, and the profound potential that lies within. 4. How I Met Mr. Alvarius, a Serendipitous Encounter. In this particular section of the book, I grapple with a significant decision, whether or not to share my initial encounter with the secretion of the Bufo Alvarius toad using 5-MeO-DMT. I fully comprehend that each individual's experience is profoundly distinct, and it's crucial to emphasize that what I experienced cannot be replicated by anyone else. However, driven by a desire to foster a connection and offer a glimpse into the intimacy of my journey, I have ultimately chosen to reveal my experience. I smoked. The moment the vapor entered my lungs, everything turned black. I found myself falling into an infinite void, hearing the rustling of cellophane inside my brain. Each crackle of sound created cracks of light in the boundless darkness. Suddenly, my disembodied spirit found solace in a white quartz vault, bathed in a powerful white light that transformed the interior into a serene space. Simultaneously, I became aware of several anomalies within myself. First, my spirit was not properly aligned within my body. It required adjustment. I brought conscious attention to a long-standing pain in my back, which I had grown accustomed to. Years of emotional burden had caused me to walk hunched over, but in that moment I realized the absurdity of it all, and the burdens vanished. Involuntary movements took hold. Before my widely dilated pupils, my wrists began to twist, and my fingers formed mudras. As they twisted and circled, I felt an unprecedented stretching of tendons, nerves, and muscles throughout my hands and arms. Spasms devoid of pain, activated muscles I had never before experienced. Each movement brought readjustment to my system. It was as if a self-repair button had been activated. My body moved in peculiar ways. Astonishingly, I realized my heel touched my back, as if I were an accomplished yogi. Fear dissipated. Each involuntary movement realigned my body, placing my spirit back in its rightful place. I recognized that a cascade of saliva connected me to the floor of the room. I comprehended that there was no separation. My mouth, the saliva, the puddle, the wooden floor, the walls, all interconnected, composed of the same dancing molecules. I understood that my physical body was merely a vessel for my true essence, and that everything in this plane was made of the same substance. All objects, including my body, were illusory manifestations of separation. My essence resided in another dimension. The existence of other dimensions became clear and undeniable in that moment. I realized that if I were to die on Earth, something more would await. Awareness returned to my posture, finding myself arched completely backward. Yet, far from terrifying or painful, I felt the energy flowing from my crown to my coccyx, activating an energetic river that infused me with life. It seemed as though the damage to my vertebrae from years of walking hunched over was being repaired. Finally, I surrendered and lay upon the floor. The sensation was unfamiliar, as if I had been bestowed a new body. My hands felt different, filled with the spiritual essence that filled the voids of flesh. Once again, my spirit had melded harmoniously with my body. The childhood sensation of lightness returned. But amidst all the surprises that unfolded, the most unexpected of all occurred. A chill coursed through my entire being. I searched for it, as I had grown accustomed to its presence. Yet, it was no longer there. Had it vanished along with the back pain? The anxiety that had plagued me for countless years had dissipated. I felt a profound peace. Experiencing peace was the first and most precious gift bestowed upon me by Mr. Alvarius. Thank you, Bufo Alvarius. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thanks to the great mystery that sustains my breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I must emphasize the utmost importance of approaching this experience with an open mind, free from any preconceived notions. It is highly probable that what we have imagined, heard, read in books, or seen in online testimonials will prove to be untrue in our own personal journey. Each individual's interaction with the molecule sparks a unique alchemical reaction, resulting in a deeply personal and unparalleled experience. While it is not advisable to compare experiences, I humbly share my account of the initial encounter with Mr. Alvarius, with the understanding that your own experience will be entirely distinct. 5. The Essence of Bufo. Alvarius Secretion, Unraveling the Power of 5-MeO-DMT. In the arid expanse of the Sonoran Desert, where the sun's scorching rays dominate the landscape, the Bufo Alvarius toad leads a unique existence. This remarkable creature, with its distinctive physiology and intriguing behavior, holds within it a secret that reveals itself only during the brief period of monsoon rain. For 11 months of the year, the Bufo Alvarius toad enters a state of deep hibernation. During this extended period of dormancy, it conserves its energy and waits patiently for the arrival of the monsoon season. When the much-awaited rains finally bless the desert, the toad emerges from its burrow, ready to fulfill its primal instinct of mating and procreation. It is during this fleeting window of opportunity, when the desert's thirst is quenched and life briefly thrives, that the Bufo Alvarius toad unveils its wondrous secret. Within its glands, carefully concealed from the world, lies the precious secretion containing the potent 5-MeO-DMT. As the toads congregate for their sacred mating rituals, this remarkable substance takes center stage, offering a glimpse into the depths of consciousness and the mysteries of existence. 5-MeO-DMT, or 5-methoxy-NN-dimethyltryptamine, is a naturally occurring compound found in certain plants and the secretion of the Bufo alvarius toad. It is also produced within the human body, further emphasizing its connection to our biology. This natural production of 5-MeO-DMT highlights its significance as a biochemical connector that enhances and expands the functions of the human brain. The human body is an intricate machine fueled by the most advanced biotechnology known on this planet. Its complexity is so profound that we have yet to fully grasp its inner workings. The physical body serves as a vessel for the spirit or essence to navigate and interact within this dimension. In order to perceive the elements that compose this reality, we rely on our senses. To process the information received through these senses, we employ an unimaginably powerful biocomputer known as the brain. The human brain is a complex machine composed of various regions, each with specific functions. Depending on our needs, different regions are activated, usually in automatic and survival modes. Facilitating this configuration is a hormone called serotonin. Hormones act as molecular connectors, triggering specific combinations within the brain. They are typically introduced to our bodies through various means. For instance, when we consume chocolate, which contains the connector called theobromine, our brain receives it, configures itself, and activates the regions that make us feel affectionate. 5-MeO-DMT is a hormone or connector that activates a highly unusual combination of regions in our brain, configuring it in an advanced mode and expanding our perceptual capabilities by activating additional areas or tools. Some cultures refer to it as the opening of the third eye, enlightenment, mystical experiences, the sixth sense, or developed intuition. It's like putting on glasses that allow us to see details in objects that were previously blurry. That's why we say that when we are configured under the effects of this connector, our consciousness of reality grows, and we understand why we came to this world, what we are, and many more answers. Many people call it medicine, because when the brain expands its functions, the first thing it does is repair the system. How does it do it? Primarily by clearing away the thoughts that obstruct our development. This generates a profound restructuring of our lives because thoughts directly create our reality. This configuration is reserved for very special moments because if we were in an advanced configuration all day, we would not be able to carry out our daily activities. Unlike other molecules produced in laboratories or nature that also function as connectors, 5-MeO-DMT is produced in the natural laboratory with which humans are equipped. Therefore, its level of toxicity is practically nil. When we reach advanced states of meditation, the human body begins to release 5-MeO-DMT, as well as during deep sleep and near-death experiences. 5-MeO-DMT is mainly produced in our digestive system. When introduced to the human system, 5-MeO-DMT has the potential to facilitate profound experiences, leading to a deep connection with the self, others, and the universe at large. It can reveal hidden truths, dissolve barriers, and offer a glimpse into the infinite realms of existence. It is important to know that just as the brain is equipped with receptors to receive these connectors, it also has a natural regulator that always returns the system to automatic mode governed by serotonin. This regulator is an enzyme called monoamine oxidase that breaks down any molecule and helps us to get back levels to automatic mode system. 6. Is 5-MeO-DMT a biotechnology? Examining its unique characteristics. Biotechnology, in its broadest sense, encompasses the utilization of living organisms or their components to create, modify, or enhance various aspects of our world, such as products, processes, or systems. When it comes to 5-MeO-DMT, this remarkable compound assumes the role of a biochemical connector within the intricate framework of the human brain. It exerts its influence by interacting with specific regions and functions, setting in motion a remarkable cascade of effects. As a result, it triggers a unique combination of brain regions, leading to an expansion of our perceptual capabilities and the unlocking of dormant aspects of our consciousness. However, the impact of 5-MeO-DMT extends beyond its role as a biochemical connector. It can also be contemplated as a form of biotechnology that enables spirits, or the essence of our being, to engage in dimensional crossovers. When individuals find themselves on the brink of death or even encounter death itself, the release of 5-MeO-DMT allows the soul to transcend the confines of the physical body and embark on a profound journey through different dimensions. These substances serve as powerful tools, enabling our essence to traverse realms that lie beyond our conventional understanding. What's particularly striking is the undeniable resemblance between the reported experiences of individuals who have undergone near-death encounters and those who have partaken in 5-MeO-DMT experiences. The presence of the same substance operating within the brain suggests a shared factor in the profound effects elicited by these two distinct phenomena. Consequently, it becomes apparent that an experience with Bufo Alvarius, or 5-MeO-DMT, can be likened to a near-death experience. By comparing the accounts of individuals who have ventured through these separate yet interconnected realms, we discover profound parallels in their descriptions. In essence, 5-MeO-DMT can be considered a remarkable form of biotechnology that expands the functions of the human brain. Acting as a potent biochemical connector, it enhances our perception and consciousness, opening the gateway to expanded states of awareness and interdimensional exploration. Through its profound effects, this extraordinary compound pushes the boundaries of our understanding and offers glimpses into the boundless possibilities of the human experience. 7. Debunking the myth of the pineal gland, exploring its connection to 5-MeO-DMT. The allure of the pineal gland's role in producing 5-MeO-DMT has captivated the imagination of many, particularly within New Age circles seeking to explore heightened states of consciousness. However, a more nuanced understanding rooted in scientific research allows us to separate fact from fiction. While the pineal gland holds a mystical appeal due to its deep location within the brain and its association with transcendental experiences, the notion that it is the primary source of 5-MeO-DMT lacks substantial scientific evidence. While the pineal gland does produce the hormone melatonin, which regulates our sleep-wake cycle, its involvement in the synthesis of 5-MeO-DMT is limited. In reality, the intricate environment of our gastrointestinal tract serves as the true origin of 5-MeO-DMT. It is within our gut that complex biochemical processes give rise to various DMT variants, including 5-MeO-DMT. Enzymes and specific gut bacteria play pivotal roles in the synthesis and metabolism of these compounds, underscoring the significance of our intestines in producing 5-MeO-DMT. Acknowledging the genuine source of 5-MeO-DMT challenges the prevalent belief that the pineal gland alone is responsible for mystical experiences or transcendent states of consciousness. Instead, it redirects our attention to the interconnectedness of our entire body and the intricate systems at play, emphasizing that such experiences arise from a collective effort rather than the isolated function of a single gland. Through ongoing scientific inquiry, we unravel the mysteries of altered states of consciousness, uncovering the intricacies that shape our perception of reality. And 8. Unveiling the functions of 5-MeO-DMT in the human brain. One of the key mechanical functions of 5-MeO-DMT in the human brain is the disconnection of the left frontal lobe, which is associated with our sense of identity and ego. The left frontal lobe of the brain plays a significant role in our perception of self, including our personal identity, beliefs, and self-awareness. It is the region where our ego resides, shaping our individuality and influencing how we perceive ourselves in relation to the external world. Since 5-MeO-DMT can temporarily inhibit the activity of the left frontal lobe, it effectively reduces the influence of the ego, allowing for a state of ego dissolution or ego death. This experience is often described as a merging with the infinite, a sense of unity with all things, and a dissolution of the boundaries between self and other. 5-MeO-DMT opens up a space for a more expansive and interconnected perception of reality, allowing a direct experience of pure consciousness. The dissolution of the ego and the experience of unity that arises from the ingestion of substances like 5-MeO-DMT are not limited to specific cultural or religious contexts. In fact, similar states of consciousness have been described and sought after in various spiritual traditions throughout history. These states are often referred to as samadhi or nirvikalpa samadhi, representing the mystical experience of oneness and union with the divine. In Christian mysticism, for instance, practitioners may describe their encounters with God or experiences of profound unity. Similarly, in other spiritual practices and cosmologies, individuals strive to reach a state of transcendence where the barriers of the mind dissolve, allowing them to perceive their true essence and connect with the divine. These experiences are accessed through different paths and perspectives, yet they share a common thread: the dissolution of the ego and the recognition of our inherent divinity. However, it is essential to recognize that these experiences, while profound and transformative, do not necessarily involve a literal encounter with a higher being or God. Instead, they provide a direct experience of our own divine essence, revealing the interconnectedness and inherent divinity of all existence. It is a profound shift in perception that reminds us of our true nature and invites us to live from a place of unity, compassion, and love. It is important to note that while the temporary dissolution of the ego can be a profound and potentially transformative experience, integration and integration of the insights gained during these experiences is crucial. The ego serves a purpose in our everyday lives, helping us navigate the world and interact with others. Therefore, the responsible use of 5-MeO-DMT and proper integration practices are essential for maximizing the potential benefits and minimizing potential risks associated with its use. 9. The Ego Killer. Investigating the relationship between 5-MeO-DMT and the ego. It is crucial to delve deeper into the concept of the ego and its relationship to substances like DMT and its variants. Many philosophical and spiritual ideologies suggest that the ego must be destroyed or transcended for spiritual growth and enlightenment. This idea can lead to the misconception that DMT is an ego killer, completely obliterating the sense of self. While it is true that during a DMT experience, the ego or the perception of oneself may temporarily fade away, it is important to recognize that the goal should not be to annihilate the ego, but rather to educate and transform it. The ego is an integral part of our human essence. It represents our individuality, self-identity, and personal experiences. Seeking to destroy the ego entirely would be akin to severing a vital part of ourselves. Instead, a more constructive approach is to nurture and educate the ego, guiding it towards a healthier and more balanced state. The analogy of an untrained dog can help illustrate this point. An uneducated ego can be like a large, unruly dog that pulls us in different directions, causing harm to ourselves and others. However, through conscious effort and self-reflection, we can train and discipline our ego, transforming it into a loyal companion and a source of protection. 10. The Springboard Effect. While it is true that substances like 5-MeO-DMT can temporarily suppress the ego, it is crucial to understand that this effect is transient. Similar to the surprise of a jack-in-the-box, the ego eventually resurfaces unexpectedly, often with a heightened sense of strength and intensity. This resurgence can present challenges or pathologies associated with the spiritual ego, such as an inflated sense of self-importance, grandiosity, or a distorted perception of one's spiritual progress. Therefore, the focus should not solely be on ego dissolution, but on integrating the lessons and insights gained from the temporary ego transcendence. It is important to approach the ego with compassion, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth, fostering a harmonious relationship between the ego and our spiritual aspirations. In summary, the idea that DMT or its variants are ego killers is a misconception. The ego is an integral part of our human experience, and instead of seeking its destruction, we should strive to educate and transform it. Substances like 5-MeO-DMT can provide temporary relief from egoic constraints, but the ultimate goal should be to integrate the lessons learned and develop a balanced relationship with the ego as we embark on our spiritual journeys. 11. Is 5-MeO-DMT a drug? Challenging perceptions and examining its potential. According to the definition of a drug, which states that it is a substance that, when introduced into an organism, causes an alteration in it, the answer is yes. 5-MeO-DMT is indeed a drug, much like aspirin or heroin. If we strictly adhere to this definition, it becomes evident that substances like sugar and coffee, which we consume daily, can also be considered drugs. It is worth noting that in the United States, pharmacies are referred to as drug stores, which prompts us to reflect on the notion that drugs are simply triggers of specific reactions in our bodies. They are neither inherently good nor bad, they simply exist. Some substances may be highly toxic, while others may not. The distinction between a poison and a medicine lies in the dosage and context of use. For example, a scalpel in the skilled hands of a surgeon serves a beneficial purpose in performing a medical procedure. However, in the hands of a murderer, it becomes a harmful weapon. Similarly, substances like 5-MeO-DMT can have various effects on individuals, depending on their dosage and how they are used. The tendency to judge and label others based on their drug use reveals a paradox between socially accepted and illegal substances. While both groups engage in substance consumption, there's often a lack of recognition of their shared experiences. This discrepancy stems from a lack of self-awareness and empathy. Criticism and stigmatization of drug use often overlook the fact that socially accepted substances like coffee, sugar, barbiturates, or alcohol also alter one's state of mind and can have negative consequences when used excessively. By disregarding their own habits, individuals project their fears, insecurities, and judgments onto others, creating a false sense of superiority. This projection occurs because what we perceive in others is often a reflection of our own experiences and biases. Labeling and condemning those who use illegal or psychedelic substances can be a way to distance oneself from potential vulnerabilities or conflicts regarding substance use, creating a sense of security or righteousness. It is important to recognize that substance use is a deeply rooted aspect of human nature throughout history. Humans have sought altered states of consciousness or relief through substances, from ancient civilizations' use of plant medicines to contemporary society's consumption of legal substances. This connection highlights the need for a nuanced understanding of our relationship with substances. Understanding the nature of different substances and their effects is crucial in making informed decisions about their use. Responsible consumption, moderation, and considering the specific context of use are important factors to consider when dealing with any substance, whether it is 5-MeO-DMT, aspirin, sugar, or coffee. Part 2. 5-MeO-DMT in Human History and Cultural Perspectives. Throughout human history, the quest for a connection with the sacred and divine has taken various forms. One of these expressions is the concept of sacraments, which are symbolic rituals or ceremonies considered to be outward signs of inward grace or spiritual transformation. The term sacramento originates from the Latin word sacramentum, which means sacred mode or sacred way. Sacraments play a crucial role in many religious traditions, including Christianity, where they are seen as channels through which individuals can encounter the divine and receive spiritual blessings. In contrast, entheogens are substances that have been used in different cultures and tribal societies to induce altered states of consciousness and facilitate spiritual experiences. These psychoactive substances are believed to provide a means of connecting with the sacred, gaining insights into the spiritual realm, and experiencing a deeper understanding of the self and the universe. Entheogens have been an integral part of religious practices in various indigenous cultures and are often used in ceremonial settings. Interestingly, there are some parallels between sacraments and entheogens. In certain native tribes, particularly among Native American cultures, initiation rituals involving the consumption of entheogens were prevalent. These rites of passage marked a significant transition in an individual's life, granting them access to higher spiritual knowledge and guidance. The Catholic Church, among others, adapted similar rites of passage through sacraments. For example, the First Communion is seen as a preparation for a young person's first mystical experience, representing a sacred encounter with the divine. However, in these religious contexts, psychoactive substances have been removed, and the focus is on the symbolic and spiritual aspects of the sacramental experience. While there is no judgment towards any religion or culture, it is essential to understand the historical context surrounding the adoption and adaptation of rituals and practices. As colonization occurred, there were instances where native traditions were assimilated into dominant religious structures, leading to the removal of psychoactive elements from the ceremonies. 12. 5-MeO-DMT and human history, tracing its influence across the ages. Throughout the tapestry of human history, psychoactive substances have woven their way into the fabric of our popular culture. These substances, such as the mystical 5-MeO-DMT derived from the Bufo Alvarius toad or the sacred brew of ayahuasca, have left indelible marks on our collective imagination. In the realm of folklore and mythology, we encounter archetypal figures whose stories bear the imprints of psychoactive experiences. The witch, with her familiar toad, holds a deeper significance. It is not merely a creature, but a conduit to altered states of consciousness. The cauldron, bubbling with mysterious concoctions, hints at the transformative power of psychoactive brews like ayahuasca or wachuma. These elements symbolize the exploration of the unseen realms and the expansion of perception. 13. Entheogens in the human imaginary, cultural interpretations and symbolism. Even in fairy tales and folklore, we encounter tales of princes and princesses embarking on enchanted journeys. The princess, through the act of kissing a toad, licking a toad, undergoes a profound shift in her perception. The veil of ordinary reality is lifted, revealing the hidden truths and unveiling the prince within. These narratives, although seemingly whimsical, carry profound metaphors for the transformative potential of psychoactive substances. When we examine the rich tapestry of human culture, we discover a tapestry woven with hints and allusions to the use of psychoactive substances. These glimpses into the depths of human consciousness have been passed down through generations, embedded in our stories, myths, and traditions. It is important to recognize that the presence of these substances in our cultural narratives is not a recent phenomenon. Instead, it reflects a timeless understanding of their potential to unlock doors of perception and facilitate profound experiences of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. In this way, the connection between psychoactive substances and our cultural heritage is a testament to the enduring human fascination with altered states of consciousness and the profound insights they can offer. It serves as a reminder that these substances are not isolated anomalies, but integral parts of our human story, etched in the very essence of who we are. 14. Witch or medicine woman. Continuing with the concept of witches, it is important to highlight an intriguing aspect. The perception of witches has been distorted over time, but in the past, a witch was a woman who utilized these psychoactive tools as a means to expand her consciousness. By harnessing the resources of nature, she tapped into a deeper understanding of the world. As a woman with an expanded awareness, she posed a threat to the established order, where men held dominion over communities and religion reigned supreme. A woman who possessed knowledge of these tools was seen as dangerous because she had the potential to awaken others. Consequently, they were hunted and persecuted, not because they were inherently evil, but because they represented a challenge to the existing power structures. The witch became a symbol of defiance, a figure capable of inspiring others to question the status quo and embrace alternative paths of spiritual exploration. Their connection to psychoactive substances allowed them to transcend societal norms and delve into the realms of the unknown. It is crucial to recognize the historical context in which these women existed. They were not malevolent individuals, but rather courageous seekers of truth and agents of change. Their persecution stemmed from a fear of the transformative power they embodied and the threat they posed to established authority. In reframing our understanding of witches, we reclaim their significance as pioneers of consciousness expansion. They were guardians of ancient wisdom, keepers of natural remedies, and explorers of the human psyche. Their marginalized status in history reflects the discomfort that arises when individuals challenge prevailing beliefs and ideologies. By acknowledging the historical role of witches as catalysts for personal and collective transformation, we gain a deeper appreciation for their contributions and the enduring impact they have had on our cultural narrative. They serve as a reminder of the power within each of us to challenge the status quo, embrace our innate wisdom, and embark on a journey of self-discovery and liberation. In essence, the concept of witches and their association with psychoactive tools highlights the profound potential for personal and societal transformation that exists when we open ourselves to expanded states of consciousness. It reminds us of the importance of embracing diverse perspectives, questioning established norms, and nurturing a society that values individual freedom and exploration. 15. Historical usage of Bufo Alvarius secretion. Unraveling some uncomfortable truth. The emergence of 5-MeO-DMT found in the Sonoran desert toad has been associated with ancient shamanic practices, with attempts to strategically introduce its consumption to non-tribal sectors by capitalizing on similarities to other ritualistic substances, such as peyote, ayahuasca, and others. Research has been conducted to determine whether it is an ancestral medicine, but so far, no evidence has been found in tracing back to tribes in Sonora and Arizona, which are the natural habitat of the Bufo Alvarius toad. There is no data to provide certainty that there is inherited knowledge of ritualistic use. Some signs can be found in indigenous iconography where animals, including the toad, are depicted, such as in the Templo Mayor and the Colula Pyramid, among others, but there is no information regarding the use of the toad. The existence of ancestral use of Bufo Alvarius secretion is a topic that remains unconfirmed, but is still plausible. While there is no concrete evidence or living tribe that has preserved the ancient knowledge of using this substance, it is important to acknowledge the possibility that such practices may have existed in the past. However, due to various factors, including the loss of information over time, persecution, or cultural shifts, any traces of this ancestral usage have been lost. In contrast, there are tribes such as those in the Amazonian region who have established lineages and rituals associated with the use of plants like ayahuasca. Similarly, The Wixárika people have a long-standing tradition of utilizing peyote in their ceremonies. These lineages and rituals have provided valuable teachings and cultural significance. It's worth noting that while the use of rituals can be enriching and offer guidance, they can also become rigid and dogmatic over time. This can limit exploration, innovation, and personal interpretation. In this context, the absence of ancestral traditions connected to Bufo Alvarius secretion presents an opportunity for individuals to approach its usage without the constraints of established dogmas. This freedom allows for a more flexible and responsible exploration of this substance as a tool for self-discovery and potential therapeutic benefits. Overall, while the ancestral use of Bufo Alvarius secretion remains uncertain, this lack of historical ties provides an opportunity for exploration and the development of new perspectives, free from the limitations of rigid dogmas, while still emphasizing the importance of responsible and mindful utilization. The knowledge of working with Bufo Alvarius secretion specifically within the tribes in the state of Sonora, Mexico, originated in the year 2012. It was during this time that Dr. Octavio Rettig introduced this knowledge to the Council of Elders in the Sonoran community. Prior to that, the tribes in Sonora had their own healing ceremonies and wise men with traditional chants, but they had not previously incorporated the use of Bufo Alvarius. The introduction of this knowledge allowed them to combine their existing wisdom and practices with the use of Bufo Alvarius. As a result, the tribes in Sonora began incorporating this substance into their healing ceremonies. However, it's important to note that none of the medicine men or healers have more than 10 to 15 years of experience working with this molecule. It is a relatively new addition to their traditional practices, and everyone involved is still in the early stages of understanding and working with it. Therefore, the usage of Bufo Alvarius secretion within the tribes in Sonora is a recent development and not something that has been passed down through generations. It represents a blending of traditional knowledge with the incorporation of this new substance, allowing for a unique and evolving approach to healing and ceremony in the region. 16. Who came up with the idea of smoking the venom? Examining historical data. It is important to make a significant distinction here. 5-MeO-DMT has been in contact with humanity throughout history. 5-MeO-DMT derived from plants has been known and utilized even before the discovery of its presence in the Bufo Alvarius toad. Substances containing 5-MeO-DMT, such as in the yopo plant, were known and synthesized prior to the understanding that it could be found in the secretion or venom of the toad. The interesting question that arises is how did people come to realize that the 5-MeO-DMT was present in this secretion of the toad? How did the idea of smoking toad venom come about? This is the story behind it. In a captivating twist of scientific exploration, a pivotal moment occurred in 1965 when Vittorio Erspamer, an Italian scientist, unveiled a groundbreaking revelation. In a published article, he shared the astonishing discovery of 5-MeO-DMT within the secretion of the Bufo Alvarius toad. But who was Vittorio Erspamer, and how did he stumble upon this remarkable finding? Well, Erspamer was quite the extraordinary scientist. Picture this. He had been nominated for the Nobel Prize not once, but twice. His earlier breakthroughs in understanding serotonin, the brain's superstar neurotransmitter, had already solidified his reputation in the field of pharmacobiology. Driven by his insatiable curiosity, Erspamer embarked on a thrilling adventure. He set out to find amphibians because he was specifically searching for a compound called bufotenin, which structurally resembled serotonin, the substance he had been studying. Amphibians were known to produce bufotenin, so Erspamer diligently collected a diverse range of species from around the world, aiming to conduct a comprehensive study. Amidst this captivating journey, a Bufo Alvarius toad from the enchanting Sonoran desert crossed Erspamer's path. Little did he know that this unassuming toad held an unexpected secret. As Erspamer meticulously conducted his analyses, fate intervened. By sheer accident, he stumbled upon a remarkable substance within the toad's glands, a substance with concentrations of 5-MeO-DMT, a potent psychoactive compound already known for its profound effects. Brimming with excitement and determination, Erspamer continued his tireless exploration, hoping to uncover other amphibians that produced 5-MeO-DMT. Yet, despite his relentless efforts, no other creature yielded this elusive compound. The Bufo Alvarius toad remained a singular custodian of this extraordinary molecule. And so, through the enchanting convergence of scientific inquiry and the mysteries of nature, Vittorio Erspamer not only understood the functions of serotonin in the human brain, but also unveiled the astonishing presence of 5-MeO-DMT within the venom of the Bufo Alvarius toad. This fortunate discovery forever changed the landscape of psychedelic research, inviting us on an exhilarating journey into the realms of consciousness and spirituality. Historical data. General historical background of substances containing 5-MeO-DMT. I would like to share some historical references that allude to the use of substances containing 5-MeO-DMT other than the toad secretion, including synthetic production. The burial site from the late 8th century in northern Chile includes a bag with paraphernalia for inhaling and remnants of tobacco containing DMT, 5-MeO-DMT, and Bufo-9. Other sites include seeds from Anadenanthera spp. In 1496, Father Ramon Payne documented in his book Relación acerca de las antigüedades de los indios the use of a psychoactive tobacco called cohoba yopo among the Taíno people inhabiting the island of Hispaniola, Haiti Dominican Republic. Now we assume that cohoba yopo was made from Anadenanthera peregrina, which contains N-DMT, 5-MeO-DMT, and Bufo-9. In 1560, indigenous people along the Guaviare River in Colombia consumed yopo along with tobacco. From the 16th to the 19th century, yopo cohoba from the yopo tree was used by natives in Colombia and surrounding areas. In 1700, the missionary Jesuit Joseph Gumila described in chapter 14 of his book El Orinoco Ilustrado y Defendido the epilogue of ceremonies where 5-MeO-DMT contained in yopo seeds was used. In 1881, Alexander von Humboldt reported in his book Viaje a las regiones equinocciales, Travels to the Equinoctial Regions, Volume 2, about the use of yopo by indigenous tribes along the Orinoco River. In 1936, Japanese scientists Toshio Hoshino and Kenya Shimodaira successfully synthesized the 5-MeO-DMT molecule in a laboratory through chemical reactions, creating pure and synthetic 5-MeO-DMT for the first time. In 1959, it was discovered that the active substance in yopo seeds is 5-MeO-DMT. In 1965, Italian scientist Vittorio Erspamer published an article stating that he found 5-MeO-DMT in the secretion of the Bufo Alvarius toad. In 1979, the existence and properties of Bufo Alvarius were internationally published for the first time by Richard Evans and Albert Hoffman in the book Plantas de los Dioses, Orígenes del Uso de los Alucinógenos, Plants of the Gods, Origins of the Use of Hallucinogens. During the 1970s to 1990s, recreational use of 5-MeO-DMT existed, although pure material was rare and difficult to obtain. Smoking Bufo toad venom and the limited availability through the Church of the Tree of Life were probably the most common forms of ingesting 5-MeO-DMT in the United States during this period. In 1983, the legendary pamphlet El Sapo Psicodélico del Desierto de Sonora, the psychedelic toad of the Sonoran Desert, was written under the pseudonym Albert Most. In 1983, Emmanuel Trujillo, the founder of the Church of Peyote, introduced White Dog to the secretion of the Bufo Alvarius toad. In 1992, 5-MeO-DMT became commercially available through mail orders. In 1994, the first article was published in a popular magazine, Esquire Magazine, September 1994. Larry Gallagher visited White Dog in the Arizona desert and wrote a detailed report about the Bufo Alvarius experience. In 2003, Corvus found the Bufo Alvarius toad in the Mexican Sonoran Desert and reveals it to Evan. In 2004, the use of the molecule through the Bufo Alvarius toad became barely known in the underground psychedelic scene in Mexico when an American artisan named Evan revealed the location of the toads to a couple of individuals who were struggling with a deep addiction to synthetic drugs. Upon encountering the molecule, they managed to break free from the cycle of addiction, and one of them shared this knowledge with the tribes of Sonora, initiating the great myth about ancestral shamans and guardians of the toad medicine. In 2009, James Orrock published The Palace of the Tryptamines. In 2011, 5-MeO-DMT became a controlled substance on Schedule I in the United States, making it illegal to manufacture, distribute, possess, or buy 5-MeO-DMT. In 2012, the first Siri person tested the Bufo Alvarius medicine. In 2013, Harihar Ayyappan, the first Bufo practitioner woman, starts serving in ceremonial environments. In 2018, the first World Congress of Bufo Alvarius, WBAC, took place. Part 3. All About Mr. Alvarius, 17. Mr. Alvarius. Unveiled. Exploring the remarkable nature of the toad. It is essential to learn how to read the signs that the universe presents to us. Some plants are readily available and can be easily cultivated, flourishing in various locations. These plants can be consumed repeatedly with minimal impact. They can be as common as an apple, a radish, or any nourishing tree. On the other hand, encountering the secretion of the Bufo Alvarius toad for human consumption is a rarity. It is highly unlikely that individuals living in places like Australia or Africa in previous years would have had access to this knowledge. This map of signs speaks to us about the quantities we should consume. It is a rarity, an improbability, and we must learn to read these signals. In the past, for an individual to have encounters with the Bufo Alvarius toad, many factors had to align. Firstly, the toad buries itself for many months of the year, making the chances of human encounters highly improbable. 18. Functions of the toad in its ecosystem, understanding its ecological role. The Sonoran desert toad lacks a direct predator, and its voracity is immense. It feeds on various types of insects, and in some cases can even devour toads of its own species. In terms of its dimensions, we could compare it to the lion in its ecosystem. We could also say that its predator, or rather what prevents it from becoming a plague in the Sonoran desert, is the scarcity of water. On a global scale within its ecosystem, its primary function is to control insect pests. It serves as a natural pesticide, even assisting farmers in keeping pests away from their crops. 19. Geographical localization of the toads, mapping their habitats. Outside of California, the Bufo Alvarius toad thrives in diverse habitats, including grasslands, arid desert lowlands, mountain canyons adorned with oaks and sycamores, and pinyon oak juniper mountain forests. These toads can be found near washes, river bottoms, springs, reservoirs, canals, irrigation ditches, stock ponds, streams, and temporary pools. Interestingly, they can also inhabit areas away from water sources, showcasing their adaptability. While the last verified record of the Bufo Alvarius toad in California dates back to 1955, there have been reports of sightings near the Arizona side of the Colorado River. These sightings include locations near the Cibola National Wildlife Refuge, the Parker Strip in La Paz County, above the confluence of the Gila and Colorado rivers in Yuma County, and along the Bill Williams River in Mojave County, all within Arizona, Thompson, Wright, and Schaffer, 2016. In the past, the toad was found in extreme southeast California, along the lower Colorado River, and in irrigated lowlands of the southern Imperial Valley. It remains uncertain whether the toads naturally occurred in the Imperial Valley or if they expanded their range there after the development of agricultural irrigation. Stebbins, 1951, Thompson, Wright, and Schaffer, 2016. Currently, the highest concentration of Bufo alvarius toads is found on the Mexican side of the border, where the desert and land are predominantly untouched by human agriculture. The toad population has faced significant challenges due to agricultural practices and the use of pesticide chemicals, which have harmed their numbers in certain areas. However, the toads continue to thrive in regions where their habitat remains undisturbed. Efforts are being made to protect and conserve the toads, ensuring their survival in these ecologically significant areas. 20. Risks of relocating the species. Examining the potential consequences. Ecosystems are naturally balanced and the result of millions of years of evolution. There is an extreme case that exemplifies the consequences of relocating a species for profit. In the 20th century, due to the demand for sugar, Australian farmers decided to establish vast sugarcane plantations in their territory. Sugarcane naturally grows in certain regions of Central America, where a toad called Bufo marinus resides. This toad naturally controls the insect pests that attack the plants. In Australia, there is a worm that feeds on sugarcane plants, and its population multiplied by millions, resulting in significant crop losses. An observant farmer noticed that what prevented the sugarcane plantations from being destroyed was the Bufo marinus toad, so he decided to bring 88 specimens of Bufo marinus and release them into a lake in Australia. The toads began reproducing exponentially as the water and fauna conditions were favorable for the species. However, the toads did not prey on the sugarcane worm. The toads reproduced to such an extent that they became an uncontrollable plague. To this day, specialized squads by the Australian government exist to contain the plague, which harasses citizens during the rainy season. Due to the absence of a natural predator and the favorable conditions, the species creates a tremendous imbalance in the ecosystem. What characteristics distinguish a toad as a member of the Bufo type? Being a Bufo-type toad refers to a specific category of toads characterized by their ability to bury themselves in the ground. These toads, including the Bufo alvarius species, possess physical adaptations that allow them to blend with their surroundings and seek refuge beneath the Earth's surface. 21. Bufo alvarius secretion or dangerous venom. Now let's explore the intriguing secretion of the Bufo toad and its purpose. The Bufo alvarius toad has specialized glands that produce a secretion with defensive properties. This secretion serves as a means of protection against its primary predator, which is the coyote or other canines inhabiting the desert. When a coyote or another predator bites the Bufo toad, it squeezes its glands, causing the secretion to be forcefully expelled. This venomous substance is directed towards the predator's snout, resulting in its exposure to the toxic compounds contained in the secretion. The effects of this venom can vary, but they can be lethal to dogs when they bite the toad. It's important to note, however, that this venom is not toxic to humans. While it poses a threat to predators, humans are not affected by its toxic effects. In the counties near where the Bufo toads are found, farmers are aware that if dogs bite one of these toads, it can lead to their demise, similar to the fate of coyotes. It is crucial to take precautions to prevent dogs from coming into contact with these toads and being exposed to the dangerous effects of their venom. The secretion of the Bufo toad is a fascinating adaptation that showcases nature's ingenuity in providing a means of defense. Through this mechanism, the Bufo toad can ward off potential threats and ensure its survival in the harsh desert environment. 22. Extraction of the secretion, methods, techniques, and considerations. To obtain the secretion from the Bufo toad, the parotid glands located on its back and legs are gently squeezed, causing the substance to be expelled. Typically, a glass surface is positioned to collect the secretion, which is then left to dry. It is important to note that while this extraction process is used, it is not considered a comfortable experience for the toad. It is worth mentioning that the well-being and ethical treatment of animals are of utmost importance. The extraction of the Bufo toad secretion should be approached with caution and care to minimize any potential harm or distress to the toads. The process should be carried out by knowledgeable individuals who adhere to ethical practices. While the toad may not experience pain during the extraction process, it is essential to prioritize the welfare and conservation of these fascinating creatures. It is crucial to emphasize that responsible and respectful approaches should be taken when engaging with the Bufo toad and its secretion. Respecting the well-being and integrity of these animals ensures the preservation of their species and contributes to the overall balance of their ecosystem. 23. Extinction status. Assessing the conservation status of the toad. The Bufo Alvarius toad is not currently facing extinction. Each female toad can lay up to 5,000 eggs, and under suitable conditions, they can multiply rapidly and become a widespread population. The Sonoran Desert, where they inhabit, spans a vast area of approximately 100,000 square miles, with human settlements being sparse in comparison to the vast land. In the United States, the species faced extinction in certain areas, particularly in California, due to the use of pesticides and land conversion for agricultural purposes. However, the uninhabited stretches of the Sonoran Desert are so extensive that there are still millions of Bufo alvarius toads thriving in their natural habitat. In the communities where the toad secretion was commercially extracted, the toads have become extinct due to being taken for farming purposes or falling victim to human predation. However, it is important to note that the toads as a species are not endangered, since the vast expanse of the desert provides numerous available habitats for them to inhabit. The Bufo alvarius toad is not actually endangered, but rather at risk of abuse. Just like how chickens are not at risk of extinction because humans enjoy eating them, they are instead subjected to abuse through factory farming and mistreatment. Similarly, the Bufo alvarius toad faces the risk of abuse. It's important to note that the region where these toads reside is controlled by organized crime and drug cartels. This area serves as a trafficking route for both illicit substances and human trafficking to the United States. This makes it challenging for foreigners to access the territory, which ironically provides a level of protection for the Bufo alvarius toad. Additionally, the U.S. Border Patrol also monitors the same area. One could say that the universe has a protective plan for the Bufo alvarius toad. 24. Chytrid fungus, the toad annihilator and conservation efforts. Let's delve deeper into the elaboration of this story about the protective nature of the universe for the Bufo alvarius toad. A few years ago, the amphibian Chytrid fungus and the resulting disease, Chytridiomycosis, had a catastrophic impact on amphibian populations across the American continent. This devastating disease led to the extinction of approximately 500 species of frogs and toads all over the continent. The spread of the Chytrid fungus seemed unstoppable, causing immense devastation and irreparable losses in biodiversity. However, within this gloomy scenario, a ray of hope shines for the Bufo alvarius toad in the arid Sonoran Desert. While it was discovered that some individuals of this toad species were infected with the Chytrid fungus, there was no widespread epidemic or mass die-off as seen in other amphibian populations. The unique environment of the Sonoran Desert provided a protective shield against the destructive effects of the Chytrid fungus. The Sonoran Desert is known for its scorching temperatures and arid conditions. These extreme environmental factors act as natural barriers for the Chytrid fungus, inhibiting its growth and spread within the toad population. The high temperatures and dry climate create an inhospitable environment for the fungus, preventing it from establishing and thriving. Through this unique relationship between the toad and its environment, we witness how the universe provides protections, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the devastating consequences of human predators, toad poachers, or even chytridiomycosis. By promoting awareness, conservation efforts, and responsible practices, we can work towards ensuring a harmonious coexistence between humans and the natural world, allowing these incredible protections to persist and flourish for the benefit of all species, including the Bufo Alvarius toad. The toads do not need to be taken care of by a bunch of enthusiasts. This group of animals, comprising around 7,000 species, were the first vertebrates to transition from aquatic to terrestrial environments over 350 million years ago. These conservation and protection programs for the Bufo alvarius toad have been driven by the recognition of its unique ecological value and the importance of preserving its natural habitat. While some enthusiasts have established farms with the intention of conserving the species, it is important to question the necessity of such endeavors. The toads have evolved to thrive in the harsh desert environment, and their population numbers can reach significant levels, making them somewhat of a plague in certain areas. Instead of directly interfering with the natural cycle of the toads, a more effective approach has emerged, known as make a hole and leave them alone. This strategy entails using heavy machinery to dig holes in the desert terrain, and then waiting for the monsoon to naturally fill these holes, creating small natural pools or water sources. This allows the toads to inhabit the area without human interference. By providing these self-sustaining habitats, the toads can continue their life cycle undisturbed, relying on their inherent adaptability to survive. It is worth noting that some current conservation projects, unfortunately, prioritize the commercial aspect rather than the true conservation of the species. These projects may engage in practices similar to farming, where the toads are bred and the substance they produce is sold for profit. While there may be arguments in favor of these projects, it is essential to carefully consider their impact on the toad population and the overall conservation efforts. Ultimately, the goal should be to strike a balance between the preservation of the Bufo alvarius toad's natural habitat, its population control, and the responsible use of its secretions for scientific research or therapeutic purposes. This approach ensures the long-term survival of the species while respecting its ecological role in the delicate desert ecosystem. Chapter 2. The Mystical Experience Provoked by Psychedelic Molecules. Part 1. Enlightenment and Transpersonal States. The concept of the mystical experience and its relationship with psychoactive substances has been explored across cultures and throughout history. It is intriguing to observe that despite the diversity of cultural contexts and practices, there are common threads in how the mystical experience is described. Whether it is the writings of Saint Teresa of Avila, the accounts of Native American vision quests, or the insights shared by individuals during psychedelic trips, there is a remarkable consistency in the descriptions of the mystical experience. One common factor that appears to trigger the mystical experience is the influence of psychoactive molecules, particularly substances like DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and its variants. DMT is naturally produced in the human body and has been associated with altered states of consciousness, including mystical experiences. In some cases, individuals are believed to generate their own DMT through meditation or other practices that alter their brain chemistry. This self-generated DMT is thought to facilitate access to an expanded reality or heightened states of awareness. On the other hand, there are instances where the mystical experience is induced by external administration of psychoactive substances, such as DMT-containing plants or synthetic compounds. These substances can interact with the brain's receptors, altering neurotransmitter activity and leading to profound shifts in perception and consciousness. The use of such substances in various cultural and spiritual practices has been documented throughout history. Ultimately, the notion of the mystical experience suggests that the brain is capable of perceiving and interacting with a reality that extends beyond ordinary waking consciousness. Whether achieved through internal DMT release or through the external administration of psychoactive substances, the mystical experience represents a profound encounter with an expanded state of awareness, often described as a connection to the divine, profound insights, or a dissolution of the boundaries of self. It is important to note that the study of mystical experiences and their relationship with psychoactive substances is complex and multifaceted. The interpretations and understandings vary among different cultures, spiritual traditions, and individuals. Ongoing research continues to explore the neurobiology, psychology, and cultural aspects of these experiences, shedding light on their profound and transformative nature. 25. Enlightenment or psychosis. The connection between enlightenment, psychosis, and the presence of DMT in certain conditions is a complex topic that has been explored by researchers and scholars. Dr. Jorge Ciprian Olivier's discovery of traces of DMT, specifically NN-DMT and 5-MeO-DMT, in the urine of patients with psychosis and schizophrenia sparked intriguing discussions. From one perspective, it was hypothesized that the presence of DMT in the urine indicated that DMT itself was the toxic substance responsible for inducing psychosis. This viewpoint suggests a direct correlation between the presence of DMT and the occurrence of psychotic symptoms in certain individuals. On the other hand, a different interpretation could be drawn. Consider the scenario of someone participating in an ayahuasca session or using the secretion of Bufo Alvarius, both of which contain significant amounts of DMT. In these situations, the individual is intentionally consuming DMT or its related compounds. They are aware of the external substance entering their system and the potential effects it may have on their consciousness. In contrast, individuals experiencing psychosis may have their endogenous DMT levels disrupted or imbalanced. This could lead to altered states of consciousness without their conscious intention or awareness of the underlying cause. As a result, they may perceive an expanded reality, but due to the lack of understanding and confusion, it can manifest as a psychotic episode. To illustrate further, imagine being in a room filled with various aromas, but lacking the ability to perceive smells because you have no sense of smell. The aromas still exist, but your personal limitations prevent you from experiencing them. However, if suddenly your sense of smell becomes activated, you would gain the ability to perceive and explore a new dimension of reality through scent. Similarly, the consumption of DMT or the activation of endogenous DMT can enhance perception, enabling individuals to access an expanded reality. In the case of psychosis, individuals may unknowingly find themselves perceiving more than the conventional reality allows. However, due to their lack of awareness and understanding of the altered state, confusion can arise, leading to distressing symptoms associated with psychosis. It is important to note that the relationship between DMT, altered states of consciousness, and psychosis is an ongoing area of research. The human brain's complex interplay of neurotransmitters, receptors, and psychological factors contribute to the intricate nature of these experiences. Further exploration and understanding of these phenomena may shed light on the potential connections between DMT, altered perception, and states of consciousness. 26. Expanding human consciousness. There are individuals who receive strong doses of 5-MeO-DMT and don't react at all, while others have a powerful reaction even with minimal doses. 5-MeO-DMT acts as a vibrational elevator, and individuals respond differently based on their own frequency when they come into contact with it. Metaphorically, we can say that as the energy increases, residues begin to detach. In other words, fleas are being shed. This process involves the expulsion or removal of emotions, thoughts, and feelings that often act as barriers and blockages. By releasing trapped emotions, one undergoes an internal process that can lead to significant therapeutic effects. 5-MeO-DMT is not strictly a medicine, it is a consciousness expander. Some individuals have managed to expand their consciousness through other means without ingesting anything, such as meditation, breathwork, fasting, among others. Expanding our consciousness brings responsibility. Let's put it this way. After the contact with these molecules, our consciousness expands, and if we continue to act in the same way as before, our expanded consciousness will cause discomfort. That's why some people, if they had a small voice in their head guiding them on what is right or wrong, that voice grows louder. The challenge is that once a person expands their consciousness, they can never go back to narrowing it again. Once we expand our consciousness, there is no turning back, and that brings responsibility. Some individuals struggle to align their actions with what they have learned in these sessions. It is important to understand that when consciousness expands, one cannot find peace until they act in accordance with what we've learned. This expanded state of consciousness brings a heightened awareness of our actions, choices, and their consequences. It calls us to live in alignment with our newfound understanding and insights. This responsibility entails being mindful of our thoughts, words, and behaviors, and making conscious choices that are congruent with our expanded consciousness. The journey of expanding consciousness requires a commitment to personal growth, self-reflection, and the integration of the wisdom gained into our daily lives. It challenges us to embody the lessons learned and to live authentically, aligned with our deepest values and truths. While this process can be transformative and liberating, it can also be demanding and require us to confront our own limitations and areas for growth. Ultimately, expanding consciousness is not a passive experience, but an active journey of self-discovery and self-realization. It invites us to cultivate greater self-awareness, compassion, and wisdom, and to contribute positively to the world around us. By embracing this responsibility, we can continue to evolve and make a meaningful impact on ourselves, others, and the collective consciousness. 27. The state of non-dual thought through consumption of 5-MeO-DMT. When individuals undergo an intense experience with 5-MeO-DMT, where the ego dissipates and dissolves, they often arrive at a shared realization. This realization revolves around the concept of non-duality, the recognition of an underlying unity that transcends dualistic thinking. But what exactly does this mean? How does it relate to the process of spiritual evolution and consciousness expansion? In the journey of spiritual growth, consciousness serves as the fundamental fabric of existence, and every aspect becomes an opportunity for learning. Sometimes the soul learns through gentle, loving experiences, while at other times it encounters lessons in painful ways. However, regardless of the nature of the experience, it all contributes to our growth and understanding. Consider the analogy of a child who is warned by their mother about the dangers of fire. Although cautioned against touching it, the child's curiosity gets the better of them, and they end up getting burned. Yet, in this seemingly negative experience, the child gains knowledge and expands their consciousness. They have learned a valuable lesson, fostering personal growth. This example exemplifies the essence of non-dual thinking, the recognition that all experiences, whether comfortable or uncomfortable, bring forth opportunities for learning and expansion. I'll share another story that made me painfully and disgustingly understand the concept of non-dual thinking. I had encountered the idea multiple times while working with the molecule, but I still found myself wanting to categorize people as good or bad, skilled or unskilled facilitators. However, this particular incident delivered the final blow, teaching me the true essence of non-dual thinking. One afternoon, a woman arrived at my friend Beto Basilio's office, seeking post-medicine integration after a traumatic experience. She had been sexually abused during a Bufo Alvarius session with a renowned practitioner. The woman had memories and was having flashbacks, which led her to remember that she had also been sexually assaulted when she was just 8 years old. She had suppressed this trauma, never speaking of it again, but that repression led her to struggle with suicidal thoughts throughout her life. Despite having abundant financial resources, she had tried various therapies, including psychotherapy, jungle retreats, and Buddhism, but nothing had fully healed her until she turned to Bufo Alvarius. The post-medicine integration sessions became a crucial step in her healing journey. When the door to the sexual abuse opened during the Bufo Alvarius session, it allowed the first glimpse of the repressed memory, creating an opportunity for healing the traumatic experience that she had sealed away. At that moment, I finally grasped that the universe operates on non-dual thinking. Anyone, including myself, might think that the worst atrocity is a facilitator abusing a vulnerable participant. However, after completing that therapy, these people were expressing gratitude to the facilitator who committed the abuse because it led them to confront the core issue. It was a painful and shameful story, but it taught me that everything is part of the evolution of the soul, and the lessons may be comfortable or uncomfortable. This leads me to reflect on how people seek only pleasant experiences during Bufo Alvarius sessions. However, it's important to note that the most challenging and painful sessions, where traumas are revisited, often lead to the most significant healing for the soul. This experience taught me the true essence of non-dual thinking and the recognition that all experiences, no matter how difficult, contribute to our spiritual growth and evolution. Within the realm of non-dual thought, we transcend the constraints of duality, such as categorizing experiences as good or bad, or dividing the world into concepts of good and evil. Instead, we embrace the underlying unity that permeates all aspects of life. In this expanded perspective, we come to perceive every experience, regardless of its nature, as a gateway to personal growth and transformation. Freed from the limitations of a dualistic mindset, we discover meaning and purpose in both the pleasant and challenging facets of life. We recognize that these contrasting experiences are integral to our journey and offer valuable lessons and opportunities for self-discovery. By embracing the interconnectedness of all experiences, we can navigate life with a greater sense of wholeness, harmony, and acceptance. 28. Psychosis or spiritual emergency, a transpersonal approach. Stan Grof, a renowned psychiatrist who worked extensively with LSD, was instrumental in the development of a movement known as transpersonal psychology. Through his work, Grof explored the idea that the human psyche is intrinsically connected to spiritual dimensions. He introduced the concept of spiritual emergency, which offers a distinct perspective and employs new terminology to describe certain psychological phenomena. It is important to clarify that the term emergency here refers to the emergence, unfolding, and surfacing of aspects previously concealed, submerged, or ignored. When an individual's mind encounters the 5-MeO-DMT molecule, it can trigger a profound leap in consciousness, unearthing a level of awareness that may never have been experienced before. This expansion of consciousness often leads to a profound shift in perception of reality, which can be both awe-inspiring and overwhelming. The mind's capacity to process information is heightened, and the individual is exposed to a greater influx of reality that cannot be assimilated in the same manner as usual. This sudden influx of expanded consciousness can be described as a spiritual emergency. This state of heightened perception and expanded consciousness can lead to a disorienting experience akin to a shock. It challenges established belief systems and our understanding of reality. For instance, imagine a person who has never been to the sea suddenly finding themselves immersed in it without knowing how to swim. This unexpected expansion of their capacity to comprehend reality can induce tremendous shock, as they are unable to process this newfound reality. In this context, the term spiritual emergency captures the essence of this transformative experience. It is crucial to approach spiritual emergencies with care and skill. A knowledgeable facilitator, such as a trained psychiatrist like Stan Grof, can identify when an individual is facing blockages or struggling to navigate their expanded reality. The facilitator provides support, guidance, and follow-up during the integration process, helping the individual to gradually process and assimilate their experiences. Grof and other proponents of this approach argue that what may be labeled as a psychotic episode is not necessarily indicative of illness, but rather an emergence of the spirit. It signifies an abrupt leap in consciousness to an unfamiliar degree. By understanding and addressing this spiritual emergency, it is possible to transform potential pathologies into opportunities for growth and healing. Reactions and responses to spiritual emergencies can vary based on several factors, and it is important to acknowledge and understand these dynamics. During some sessions I have observed, individuals who have undergone the experience of the molecule have opened their eyes and exclaimed, "There is spirit." This profound realization highlights the depths of the human unconsciousness. However, it is crucial to note that this does not place one person above or below another. Attempting to quantify and compare levels of consciousness is not advisable, as each individual's process is unique and personal, unfolding within their own space and time. Analogously, one can liken this process to that of a gardener planting various seeds. Each seed will sprout and grow at its own pace and in its own way, guided by its inherent nature. Some seeds may develop into radishes, others into walnuts, and some into beautiful flowers. The gardener tends to the cultivation process, providing nurturing care and observing each step patiently, awaiting the harvest of each fruit. Similarly, trying to expedite maturity through the use of fertilizers can harm the crop instead of facilitating its growth. Likewise, the spiritual growth facilitated by psychoactive substances follows its own unique process. The facilitator prepares, supports, cultivates, and accompanies the individual throughout the experience, guiding them towards integration. The desired outcome is therapeutic benefits, healing, and expansion of consciousness. If the facilitator identifies that someone is undergoing a spiritual emergency, it becomes essential to offer support and assistance. This is crucial for attaining therapeutic benefits and fostering personal growth. Furthermore, one can draw parallels to the gradual feeding process of a baby, which progresses in alignment with the maturity of their digestive organs. Feeding a child with food they are not yet capable of digesting can be harmful and hinder their development. Similarly, in the realm of spiritual exploration, it is important to navigate the use of psychoactive substances responsibly and respect the individual's readiness for such experiences. 29. Psychiatric medication for a spiritual emergency. The use of psychiatric medications puts this process on hold. When there is a spiritual emergency, a surge of consciousness, individuals behave differently. In such situations, the first response of a family member, like a parent, witnessing these changes in their child's behavior, is to seek medication. Typically, they are prescribed benzodiazepines, which chemically block this process, leaving individuals in a spiritual prison or a chemical spiritual lockdown. When there is a mental breakdown, it can be a healing process. It involves the eruption of emotions as a precursor to subsequent healing, which requires significant effort and guidance. However, the easiest way to handle it is by controlling it with psychiatric drugs, rather than exploring and understanding the underlying reasons for the process. These individuals are labeled as mentally ill and treated with medication to suppress the symptoms. Stopping a psychotic episode with benzodiazepines, for instance, immediately halts the process. By doing this during a spiritual emergency, individuals are left in a state of spiritual limbo, nullifying their emotions and feelings. This state can be likened to a zombie-like existence, or to those who have undergone lobotomies. Many medications can cause such blocks. For example, individuals diagnosed with bipolar disorder are often prescribed these medications for life. While they may control the patient's symptoms, they also unintentionally create a spiritual prison as a side effect. It is important to understand that psychiatric medications, when used in a proper context and responsibly, can help to control the situation during a psychotic episode. Therefore, they should not be judged. They simply need to be used responsibly in times of spiritual emergency. As we have always emphasized, psychiatric medications are not inherently bad. They are tools that should be used at the right moment and for the appropriate duration. Above all, they should not be used indefinitely. If a person is exposed to a psychoactive process, the facilitator must be attentive to their subsequent response and provide appropriate guidance and support. Often, when individuals return to their social or familial environment, which may have been the source and origin of various mental imbalances and pathologies, they commonly experience negative reactions. That's why the process of readjustment and collaboration with family members or seeking companionship with others who understand these processes becomes essential for achieving the highest well-being and expanding consciousness. Part 2. Positive and Negative Effects, Examining the Spectrum 30. Positive Effects of 5-MeO-DMT. In the realm of 5-MeO-DMT, the encounter with the molecule transcends the boundaries of physical space and transports individuals on an inward odyssey. While other psychedelic experiences are often associated with vivid imagery and otherworldly dimensions, the nature of 5-MeO-DMT invites a profound journey into the inner realms of one's being. Unlike traditional notions of traveling to external places or alternate dimensions, the voyage facilitated by 5-MeO-DMT is a navigation through the profound depths of our own essence. It is a transformative exploration of the very core of our spirit and consciousness. Rather than venturing outward, the focus shifts inward, delving into the intricate tapestry of our inner landscape. Although participants may describe experiences of seemingly leaving their physical bodies, it is essential to recognize that they are, in fact, venturing within themselves. The separation from the physical form allows a profound detachment from external influences, creating a space for pure self-exploration. It is a state where the veils of ego and the constraints of the material world dissolve, revealing the raw essence of one's being. Within the depths of this inward journey, participants may encounter profound insights, deep emotions, and an expanded awareness that surpasses the confines of their physical existence. It is a sacred space where the true nature of one's being is revealed, stripped of the masks and illusions that often cloud our perception in everyday life. It is crucial to clarify this aspect of the experience as it underscores the transformative potential of 5-MeO-DMT. The journey is not a physical relocation or escape to external realms, but a profound exploration of one's innermost self. It invites individuals to embark on a voyage of self-discovery, self-healing, and self-transcendence, ultimately leading to a greater understanding and integration of their own essence. With this understanding, the remarkable power of 5-MeO-DMT becomes even more evident. It acts as a catalyst for introspection, a tool that allows us to connect with the depths of our being and unravel the mysteries that lie within. Through the lens of this extraordinary molecule, we embark on a journey that transcends the physical, leading us to the profound depths of our own consciousness and the limitless potential of our inner worlds. 31. 5-MeO-DMT as an eye-opener for humans. The encounter with 5-MeO-DMT has the potential to transform even the most unconscious individual into a more conscious being. However, by increasing individuals' awareness, there is a probability, not a certainty, that upon realizing certain aspects of their lives, they may choose to improve themselves. As a result, they can positively impact their surroundings and ultimately contribute to a better world. 5-MeO-DMT has the ability to remove unconsciousness and open our eyes to a deeper understanding of life. It does so without violating the principle of free will, because if there were a molecule that inherently turns us into good persons or brings only positive outcomes upon consumption, it would contradict the universal law of free will. Instead, 5-MeO-DMT serves as a catalyst for self-realization and personal growth. The transformative power of 5-MeO-DMT lies in its ability to facilitate a profound shift in consciousness. It can provide individuals with glimpses of truth, guiding them to explore their own beliefs, patterns, and behaviors. In this way, 5-MeO-DMT honors the principle of free will and respects the sovereignty of each individual. It serves as a tool for self-discovery and expanded consciousness, allowing individuals to gain a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. Through this expanded awareness, positive changes can arise, leading to a ripple effect of transformation that extends beyond the individual and contributes to a more conscious and harmonious collective experience. 32. Trauma and PTSD treatments. Exploring the potential of 5-MeO-DMT, 5-MeO-DMT has shown promise in aiding the healing of trauma, including post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and its use in treating war veterans is being explored. The therapeutic effects of 5-MeO-DMT on trauma can be attributed to various factors. Neuroplasticity. Traumatic experiences can create entrenched neural pathways associated with fear and anxiety. 5-MeO-DMT has been observed to promote neuroplasticity, allowing for the rewiring of these neural connections. This can help individuals break free from the grip of trauma and develop new patterns of thinking and responding. Emotional release and processing. 5-MeO-DMT experiences can elicit profound emotional responses, creating a safe space for individuals to confront and process deep-seated emotions related to their trauma. This cathartic release can aid in the integration and resolution of traumatic memories and emotions. Expanded consciousness and perspective. The altered state of consciousness induced by 5-MeO-DMT can provide individuals with a heightened sense of self-awareness and introspection. It allows them to delve into the underlying causes and triggers of their trauma, gain insights into their thought patterns and behaviors, and develop a broader understanding of themselves. This expanded perspective can facilitate the identification and resolution of trauma-related issues. While further research is still needed to fully understand the potential of 5-MeO-DMT in trauma treatment, early findings suggest its ability to assist in the healing process. It is crucial that the administration of 5-MeO-DMT and its integration into therapy are conducted under the guidance of trained professionals in a safe and supportive environment. This approach ensures the responsible and effective use of 5-MeO-DMT as a therapeutic tool for trauma healing. 33. Addiction treatments, insights and considerations. In specific and carefully managed cases, 5-MeO-DMT has shown potential as an intervention within the addiction cycle, particularly for individuals struggling with methamphetamine addiction. It is important to note, however, that 5-MeO-DMT is not a cure for addiction. Instead, it can serve as a valuable tool in interrupting the cycle and providing a crucial opening for further treatment and therapy. When administered under the appropriate medical supervision and in conjunction with comprehensive therapeutic support, 5-MeO-DMT can offer a profound and transformative experience for individuals battling addiction. By opening the participants' eyes to new perspectives and possibilities, it can initiate a shift in consciousness and disrupt the patterns of addictive behavior. The interruption created by 5-MeO-DMT allows medical professionals and participants undergoing detoxification to pause and reassess their situation. It provides an opportunity to explore additional therapeutic modalities and treatment options that can effectively address the underlying causes of addiction. This may include counseling, behavioral therapies, support groups, and other evidence-based interventions. It is crucial to emphasize that 5-MeO-DMT should only be used as part of a comprehensive and individualized treatment plan tailored to the unique needs of each participant. It is not a standalone solution, but rather a tool that can support the process of addiction recovery. The integration of 5-MeO-DMT into a broader treatment framework should be guided by experienced healthcare professionals with expertise in addiction medicine. Part 3. Unveiling Psychological Risks and Pitfalls. In this part, we will discuss the dangers and risks associated with 5-MeO-DMT, vibration and resonance. The expansion of consciousness through experiences with molecules like 5-MeO-DMT can have profound effects on our perception of reality and our interactions with the world around us. It is crucial for participants engaging in these experiences to have a comprehensive understanding of the potential impact on their lives. Cymatics is an experimental science that visually demonstrates the effects of sound vibrations on various materials, particularly on surfaces like sand or liquid. The term cymatics comes from the Greek word chyma, meaning wave. It was coined by Hans Jenny, a Swiss scientist and artist who extensively researched the visual representation of sound frequencies in the 1960s. In cymatics experiments, a surface, often a thin plate, is coated with a fine material like sand or liquid. The surface is then exposed to different sound frequencies. As the sound vibrations pass through the material, it causes the particles to move and rearrange, creating intricate geometric patterns and shapes on the surface. At lower frequencies, the patterns are relatively simple and more easily recognizable, such as concentric circles or straight lines. However, as the frequency increases, the patterns become more intricate, complex, and finer in detail. The visual representation of sound vibrations through cymatics provides a fascinating insight into how different frequencies can influence matter and form. In the context of elevating our vibrational energy or working with substances like Bufo Alvarius, the concept of cymatics can be metaphorically related. When humans strive to raise their vibrational frequency, it is comparable to how the patterns become more intricate and complex as frequencies increase in cymatics experiments. Just like the sand on the surface needs to adapt to the changing frequencies, humans may also need to make efforts to align with and integrate higher vibrations. Our existence is intricately connected to the vibrations that permeate the universe. Everything in the universe, including ourselves, emits and resonates with specific vibrations. These vibrations create a unique energetic signature that influences our perception and the reality we attract. Just like tuning forks that vibrate at different frequencies, individuals with distinct vibrational states may not easily connect or resonate with each other. However, when two individuals share similar vibrational frequencies, there is a natural attraction and harmony between them. Same happens with our surroundings. When we engage in experiences that expand our consciousness, such as working with molecules like 5-MeO-DMMT, our vibrational state undergoes a transformation. Our perception of ourselves, others, and the world expands and deepens. As a result, our vibrational frequency shifts, aligning us with new possibilities and potentials. This shift in vibration can bring about profound changes in our lives, affecting relationships, belief systems, and our overall sense of self. It is essential to recognize that such transformative experiences can lead to significant imbalances, particularly in intimate relationships. If only one person in a couple embarks on the journey of consciousness expansion through these molecules, their vibrational shift can create a stark contrast between them and their partner. This can result in challenges, conflicts, or even the breakdown of the relationship. It highlights the importance of clear communication, mutual understanding, and support when navigating these experiences together as a couple. When embarking on a process of consciousness expansion, it is crucial to approach it with awareness and respect for the potential consequences. Understanding the possible shifts in vibrational frequency, perception, and the impact on various aspects of life can help individuals make informed choices and navigate the journey with greater clarity and intention. 34. The emergence of the dark side on the participant. After engaging with the molecule, individuals may experience the awakening or surfacing of their shadow self. The shadow represents the hidden aspects of our personality that we may not be fully aware of or may have repressed. These aspects can include traits associated with character flaws like greed, lust, pride, envy, anger, etc. One might question, why do these darker elements emerge if the participant experienced bliss or enlightenment during the mystical experience provoked by the molecule? The answer lies in the transformative nature of the experience. The medicine, in its profound effects, acts as a catalyst for the shadow to rise to the surface. By bringing these hidden aspects into our awareness, the medicine provides an opportunity for us to confront and ultimately transform them. This is an example of non-dual thinking. There is no good or bad, just lessons to be learned. It is essential to understand that the emergence of the shadow is not a reflection of failure or regression, but rather a necessary part of the healing process. The medicine works by illuminating the darkness within us, bringing it into the light of our consciousness, where it can be observed, understood, and ultimately integrated. The real problem arises when the practitioner's shadow emerges, but they are unable to recognize it. In such cases, it becomes essential for the community to step in and bring it to their attention. However, what happens when a practitioner has cultivated an image of a revered guru, and no one feels authorized to confront them? In such instances, the practitioner may remain resistant to making the necessary changes. Ultimately, the surfacing of the shadow serves as a reminder that healing and growth are ongoing processes. It highlights the importance of embracing all aspects of ourselves, both light and dark, in our journey towards wholeness. By acknowledging and working through our shadows, we can transcend their grip and move towards greater compassion, understanding, and integration. 35. Psychological risks after the encounter. Exploring potential challenges. One of the significant challenges that arise after consuming 5-MeO-DMT and experiencing an expansion of consciousness is that participants may find themselves positioned outside the societal norm. Let's imagine the collective consciousness as a belt that gradually elevates with the passing years. As society's consciousness evolves over time, imagine that our understanding of what constitutes a dog today is different from what it was 100 years ago. Nowadays, the collective consciousness embraces more extensive animal rights, including dogs, which a century ago would have been unthinkable. Therefore, if you find yourself within the global belt of consciousness, you are considered a functional human being. Why? Because even though mistreating dogs, as it was done 100 years ago, is now viewed as wrong, it was once acceptable within the prevailing consciousness, so you would have been considered fine and accepted in society. However, consider what would have happened 100 years ago if someone had expanded their consciousness and treated dogs with more dignity. They likely would have been mocked and deemed insane. This illustrates the problem with the belt of consciousness. For instance, those who are beneath that belt of consciousness might exhibit sociopathic tendencies. Today, if someone kicks or abuses a dog, they are regarded as lacking the consciousness to understand the implications, and society condemns their actions. They are labeled as a sociopath because their consciousness is insufficient to grasp the consequences, and they are subject to judgment. But what if you find yourself above the belt of consciousness? If you possess a higher understanding, then the number of sociopaths beneath the belt is considerable, and they are likely to pursue you due to your expanded consciousness. It is not the same as being beneath the belt when you are the one sociopath among many. Why? Because it's different to be persecuted by everyone within the belt of consciousness for your thoughts. The New Cage Movement. When individuals undergo transformative experiences, such as those induced by entheogens like 5-MeO-DMT, they may undergo a profound shift in their beliefs and perspectives. This dismantling of previously held belief systems can leave them seeking new ways of understanding the world and their place in it. The New Age movement often becomes an appealing destination for these seekers, offering a seemingly vast array of spiritual concepts, rituals, and practices. The New Age culture is characterized by its emphasis on spiritual exploration, personal growth, and esoteric beliefs. It draws inspiration from various spiritual traditions, often incorporating concepts like chakras, energy healing, astrology, and the law of attraction, among others. While these ideas can be empowering and provide a sense of purpose and interconnectedness, they can also lead to potential pitfalls. One of the risks of the New Age movement is the potential for adopting new dogmas. As individuals strive to make sense of their expanded consciousness, they may be drawn to new belief systems that seem all-encompassing and provide ready-made answers to life's mysteries. This can lead to a rigid adherence to particular ideas and concepts, hindering genuine self-discovery and growth. Moreover, the New Age movement can promote an overly optimistic and bypassing attitude. The emphasis on love, light, and positivity can sometimes lead to a denial or avoidance of difficult emotions or challenges. By trying to stay in a perpetual state of bliss, individuals may neglect the importance of confronting and integrating their shadows, the aspects of themselves that they may find uncomfortable or unacceptable. This evasion of the darker aspects of the human experience can hinder true personal growth and healing. Another aspect to consider is the commercialization and commodification of spirituality within the New Age culture. Many products, workshops, and experiences are marketed as a means to attain enlightenment or higher consciousness. While some offerings may be genuine and beneficial, others may exploit the vulnerability of seekers and perpetuate a consumerist mindset. In navigating the post-5-MeO DMT experience and exploring the spiritual landscape, it is essential to exercise discernment and critical thinking. Embrace the aspects of the New Age movement that resonate with your personal journey, but avoid falling into the trap of blindly accepting dogmas or bypassing the complexities of life. The key is to remain open-minded, authentic, and grounded in your quest for understanding and inner growth. Embrace your unique path and recognize that wisdom and divinity lie within, rather than being solely dependent on external ideologies or practices.